Yeah, we're live. We are live, I think. Irish Whiskey, I just finished the Dead Rabbit review. I have more of that. But this is mostly just for me. Other people can watch. It's not a review or anything. But it's just for me to get my head in a good spot as far as, what's going on right now. So first, happy St. Patrick's Day, which is good. This is probably one of the most peculiar St. Patrick's Day that has happened in quite a while due to social distancing, which I do all the time, so it's, perfectly fine with me. It's nice. But nothing really changed for me. That's the funny part. As far as social distancing goes, I stay at home a lot, do videos occasionally when I can muster up the energy. But I pretty much just go out once a day and I sleep much more than I care to be abundantly clear. I have no sleeping norm. It's not, wake up at 8 a.m., go to sleep at 11. It doesn't, no, that's not a thing for me. It'd be nice if it was, but it just isn't. Got a little light here. Do this. I can see the shadow. It's bugging me. Like today, I think I fell asleep and woke up at least twice. And that was after waking up at 7 in the morning. No, I think it was earlier than that. Maybe 6, maybe 7. Let me check so I can have actual valid info about this. And unfortunately, I have to scroll back because I've fallen asleep so many damn times. I got my 8 hours. It's just, sporadic as all hell. Yeah. So I fell asleep last night just before 2 o'clock, and I woke up at 5:30 in the morning. Then I was up for a while. I actually did a Twitch stream, which you can find at twitch.tv/Kilco7. I really should know this. Ouch. I might actually go live live on Twitch after I do this. Yes, Kilco7. I'll make sure I remember that at some point. But like many people in the world right now, my thoughts are all congealed around illness and disease and this madness, which is something I'm thinking about normally anyway. The fact that other people are not concerned about sickness and illness spreading has always been strange to me because I think about it far too often. That's why I like the winter, because you wear gloves and no one asks questions. If you wear gloves in the spring and the summer, well, people get weird. So I only wish I could wear gloves all the time. I have to now, kind of. But so far, in my state at least, it's been pretty tame. Dutch Patron, welcome to day 2 of social distancing. This is moments when I'm happy that there's a whiskey community and a YouTube community that I'm involved in some small way, because this is how I do social stuff. This is about as social as I get streaming. But other people have like normal lives where they get up and go to work and talk with their coworkers and talk with their boss and go to church and go to the bar and go to the restaurants, and all that's just been taken away, like that. It's like, nope, gone. Enjoy. It goes as well as to be expected, Mr. Patron. I was just doing it again too. I just did this guy. It's actually pretty good. A New York whiskey that I've been meaning to try for quite a while. But as far as how I feel, I don't particularly feel very bad about what's going on. Exactly. It's like for people who have just this kind of anxiousness and just this uncomfortableness in social settings, being told to suddenly do social distancing, and it's like, oh, so I'll just keep doing what I'm doing then. All right. I know it's weird to see other people react to it in such a strange way, where everyone else is kind of like, oh god, toilet paper. I need all the toilet paper, and I need all the meat, and I need all the everything. It's madness. It's watching other people react to what I feel most of the time has been extremely weird, because I don't feel that panic response, since I'm always kind of on this this uneasiness around people. Usually it's because of just feeling like something violent is going to happen for no reason, or something bad is going to happen without anything even thought provoking. It's not like you see a guy who's got an open weapon or something, or someone who looks like they have a broadsword on their back. That'd be a little intimidating. You just feel that unease around everyone. At least I do, and it sucks. But I've had to get used to it, and other people have not had to get used to that. Other people have been very keen on just being around strangers and not thinking about it at all. So it's weird to suddenly have the general populace having to conform to my general tone of avoidance. Even now, part of me was thinking about going to Stop and Shop either tonight or tomorrow, because at 11 o'clock at night, most people aren't going to the grocery store. But right now, I'm so nervous about it because there's just like the chaos, the utter chaos of how people respond to this has been, I don't want to say upsetting, but it'll bother me because I can't. Going to the grocery store was always a problem for me. Now that everyone's panicking, it is more of a problem, not because I'm panicking too, but because I don't want to be around those people who are panicking, because they just make me uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. The general feeling about the way things are right now is people are not happy because everything's just gone from normal everyday crap to everything's closed. You can't go anywhere. Stay inside. A curfew. Yeah, the only thing that's happened here that's been interesting or not interesting, but good, was they have some large chains have been opening earlier, or opening so that older adults, like senior citizens, can go to grocery stores without younger people being there, or anyone else who's not as, let's say, spry and quick and gonna snag that toilet paper out from under their feet, kind of thing. Because they're more prone to, if they get that illness, it's not good. Like my parents are 70 plus, and they're not going out much. I'm not going out much, but I do go out probably once a day just to get some air, and not even anywhere. I can go to a lot of places that are within a mile of where I live. And there's a Starbucks, there's a Wendy's, there's a grocery store. There's a couple grocery stores, actually. 3, when I think about it. I could walk to all of them, if I felt like it. Oh, wait, 4. Although I think the other one's 2 miles away. So there's no lack of options. But there is that concern that whenever you go to a place where there are people, you immediately make it more likely that you will get sick. Now, that's something I know in my head constantly. Like, if you're around people, you could become ill. I've had disinfectant in my car. I've had disinfectant next to my sink, like, the alcohol stuff. I wash my hands semi-regularly just because habit. And most people should. The fact that people aren't is what's really weird. Use the restroom, wash your hands, not because you did anything, but because it's just common sense, It's something that should be ingrained into the populace, but it isn't, for whatever reason. I should be taking this time to clean my apartment. My apartment's actually a mess. The good thing about editing and video is you see this. This is a very tiny corner of my apartment. The rest of it's a travesty. at the moment. And with the fact that this is only day 2 of my official quarantine of myself, and I don't want to say quarantine, social isolation, whatever you want to call it, you know, the fact that I'm purposefully not going anywhere or trying to do less, which isn't hard because that's where I was at the beginning. Like I've been streaming and doing that kind of thing to keep myself occupied, watching Netflix, watching CBS Star Trek stuff, watching what else do we have? Netflix, CBS, Disney Plus. I haven't watched Frozen 2 yet, but it's on the list just to make me upset, I'm sure. I don't know how it ends, but I'm sure there's something terrible that happens in it. I got slight spoilers at some point, only slightly. I do have plenty of whiskey. I didn't have to go shopping or anything, although I did feel the urge to go to the liquor store and get the Guinness because of the holiday. But Guinness isn't going anywhere, so I can wait until after this situation has, I don't want to say cleared up, but has stabilized to some extent. Then I can go get my Guinness and be perfectly content to have another, second St. Patrick's Day almost. Today I've just been sipping on Dead Rabbit, which doesn't sound very appealing, but that's the name of the whiskey person, creator. As I said in the video, it looks nice, It's a nice bottle. It's a nice logo. I like this kind of font kind of thing. The problem is it has a dead rabbit on it. And it also has a dead rabbit on the top. But the Dead Rabbits were a gang, I believe, in the late 1800s. It's 5 years. Technically, this is a bottled and bond Irish whiskey, I guess. What was bottled and bond? More than 3 years? More than 4 years? Yes, thank you for stopping by. We all will just get through this. Life goes on. The world doesn't stop turning. It just feels like right now it's unpleasant because everything's different. Thank you for joining me, Mr. Patron. Enjoy your editing. I look forward to your next video. This is so pleasant. Take your mind off things. I feel I'm fortunate in the whiskey community that I can look forward to live streams of other YouTubers and most importantly, just my own streaming. Like I've been trying to do a community streaming thing on Twitch mostly because I'm set up there. But I do know I can stream here if I want to, but I don't think I want to. YouTube really isn't keen on, YouTube isn't a platform that's meant for PC game streaming. You can, but it feels weird. So that's why I prefer going through Twitch, which has been around almost as long and is geared towards, PC gaming or streaming online. Yeah, in the video I just put up half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago, I'd done just the slightest bit of research about the Dead Rabbits. And of course, immediately I thought of the movie, The Gangs of New York. And there was this, historical reference to the gang, the Dead Rabbits, and they were like an Irish-based community against the American, tough boys, whatever they were actually called. So if you want to watch the movie, The Gangs of New York on St. Patrick's Day, you wouldn't go wrong. It is a Irish-themed historical thing with a lot of blood and violence and, all that kind of good stuff. It's a good movie. It is violent. But what I'm interested in is actually going to this bar in New York someday when things have chilled out. New York to me is like a day trip. So it's not exactly hard to get there. Time consuming. There's a drive, there's a train. I ain't doing any of that right now. Obviously. Welcome to ASMR. Oh gosh. See, I knew this was going to happen once I opened this. I'm just going to keep drinking it. Because it's a higher proof whiskey-ish. Let's see, 15. I'm trying to keep these 15 minutes to 30 minutes if I'm singing. because I don't want to make an extremely long video that someone's going to be like, the guy's just sitting here talking. Well, that's the idea. It's a blog kind of thing. Entertaining? Yeah, a little bit. But for the most part, as I am a YouTube thing, whatever you want to call it, and this is mostly just to kind of, check off the day in my head, is that day 2 is complete. I did have to see my therapist today, which was, convenient. It helped me just talk out my problems. I actually thought she was going to cancel, and I have to cancel one later this week because I don't want to go up there. It's like a 30-minute drive, and I just don't feel like going out and doing that right now because of the way things are. Normally, I would go to that and then go to a restaurant afterwards, but can't do that. I get takeout. So that's good. I can go to Denny's, maybe, but things are weird. I mean, who knew, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, that things that were normal for people would just be taken away, and how bizarre it is when everyone else does the same thing I do, which is just, I don't go to work because of my disabilities. I can't really go out and have a job normally without some kind of mitigation and understanding about my condition being what it is. And now everyone is stuck at home. They're not making money, very importantly. The restaurant businesses, travel industry are just suddenly crippled by the fact that everyone has been told by government officials and those who are scientific literate about, disease and the spread and how fast this is coming and what it can do, and just the general concern about public health has become extreme. And people will always fight against that because they don't want to be confined. No one wants to be told stay home or else. No one wants that. But that is how it is at the moment. And although I'm not finding any problem with it because of my sleeping pattern being what a mess it is, I am probably going to be up late tonight. I'm probably going to wake up at some point tomorrow. There's no regularity. There's no, I don't have to go to work. So I feel I'm fortunate that I've been in this kind of unstableness already. My mental state is unstable-ish as far as just dealing with being awake, being asleep, what I'm going to do next, how much energy I have, etc., etc. And now everyone else has been kind of thrown into that unwillingly. And they can't do anything other than to wait. And people are not fond of being isolated and being told wait and don't. So for me, I'm not okay with the way things are now. I'd love to go to a restaurant. I like to go out. One of the things I do for my, I don't want to call it therapy, but my general coping mechanism is maybe once a week I will go out by myself to a bar where it's somewhere I'm familiar with, sit down, have some food, have a drink, talk to the bartender. That helps me feel some sort of connection with society and the world. But now I can't even do that. Like the restaurant I would go to is closed. Anything around me is not open for the next 2 weeks. So normal for a lot of people went out the window, which is upsetting, but necessary if you understand, like I do, how the fact that people aren't scared of getting sick all the time is what's funny and terrible. Because the flu and, even STDs, all these diseases that you can get are constant. And this one pops up because it's the new one and it's dangerous because it spreads very easily. You can't even know if you have it sometimes. I could have it right now. I wouldn't know. I hope I don't. But I know my throat feels a little weird. But that could be also because I've been straining myself by singing online and doing that kind of thing. We'll hope. It's another reason I'm keeping track of this. Just keep track of my own life, of what's going on in my general radar for myself, if nothing else. And just to kind of let others who are out there thinking about this know that this is, an unfortunate turn of events, but you have to take, it's the stupid thing that you have to take a negative circumstance and make the best of it. Literally, like I am stuck in my apartment. If I were officially, if it was officially a lockdown, I wouldn't be able to leave my apartment or go anywhere. What would I do? Well, I'd clean up my apartment, obviously. At night, I'd just step outside and have some air, you know, whatever. Do what you have to do to cope and get through this. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be pleasant. But it is something that will pass. This too will pass is one of those things that people use for positive stuff. Yeah, this too will pass, but it's not passing very quickly at the moment. But it will. This week will pass, the next week will pass, the next week. Eventually it'll be April. The warmer weather, things are changing outside at least. And things will get back to some degree of normal eventually. But until then, we all have to just kind of quietly push on in our own way and don't panic. Get a towel, etc. We can only take this one day at a time. That's all we can do. So I will keep making these just for myself, if nothing else, as I said, because I feel as something that has not happened in a while. Like there hasn't been a global pandemic in a while, and now there is one. I feel it's at least my responsibility to document my own personal experiences and how I'm dealing with it and how I feel, and just generally do this as a self-care and way to get through it, sort of thing. It's technically already tomorrow, so welcome to Wednesday. This has slipped into day 2 and 3, but I will do one of these tomorrow. I might do another whiskey review if I feel up to it. Maybe I'll go. I will definitely go on Twitch after this just to play some games, because that always gets my mind off stuff. So until next time, Sláinte, especially right now, which is health. Live long and prosper to all of you, and don't forget to be awesome. Remember that. Be awesome to everyone around you, because everyone has their own little struggle and their own little bit of panic and uncertainty. So till tomorrow, when I do another one of these, hopefully. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Oh, lovely.